Hello YouTube, my name is Wobblerocket and you're watching episode 3 of my Striving for Light Survival Let's Play series. Today we're going to go for a melee build. Let's get into it. We're going to grab Greatsword and I think we're going to go with Throwing Axe today. We are going to be using the Unknown Wanderer, the male variant that gets the increased melee damage. We've also picked a selection of melee focused skill nodes for our passive tree. We're going to be playing Frozen Plains Tier 2 because I'm hoping that at the end of this we'll be able to unlock a new character. Hopefully, if the passive tree is kind to us today, we'll get a whole bunch of melee nodes. I have had a couple of experiences recently where I've tried to plan out a melee build and there ends up being so many range nodes on the board that the melee skills struggle to keep up. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and grab this increased area of effect node. That's going to be super helpful because melee surprisingly has a large number of area of effect abilities. We're also going to grab this increased movement speed right here. I'm a little bit worried because we're already starting to see a whole bunch of ranged nodes on the board, but hopefully things will swing a little bit more in our favor as we progress. Frozen Lands is one of my favorite maps in the game. I really enjoy the unicorn snails that pop up in this level. This is the first time that I've experienced the arrow traps that are scattered throughout this map as well. So we'll have to be careful when we approach those. We're going to go ahead and grab this bursting Wield, and then we're going to go down and grab another increased area of effect. That'll let us go for both of these increased attack speeds. We'll probably also try to re-roll this increased shot angle so that we can grab these additional attack speed nodes right there. We've also got Flood on the board, which is a really nice AoE ability that doesn't impact your attack speed, so that will scale very well with the area of effect nodes that we've already picked up. So I think it would be a good choice for us to grab. Striving for Light Survival is quickly becoming one of my favorite new action roguelites of 2023. It's actually a spin-off of a action RPG called Striving for Light, which kind of has some homages to Diablo and Path of Exile. I haven't actually played the main game yet. I'm hoping that I'll pick up a Steam key for it at some point. But right now I've really just been enjoying the survival mode. As much as it pains me to do so, we're going to re-roll this projectile multiplicator because we really want to focus on our melee abilities. We'll go ahead and grab increased condition damage because we may end up getting some more fire effects. We do have burning hit, which does scale with condition damage. That'll let us grab flood, and in fact there's another burning hit on the board right here, so we're going to go ahead and grab that for the increased damage. Something I wanted to check on, I had this question of whether or not picking up the second level of stackable nodes still impacts your attack speed. So let's see what happens to our attack speed. Right now we're at 1.20 once we hit burning hit. Okay, so yeah, additional levels of stackable nodes does impact your attack speed. So that is something to be careful about. Generally, I've found that the scaling of most abilities, that's okay. Our burning hits will start dealing a lot more damage, and in fact you can see for some of our enemies that are on the board that are burning right now, they are taking considerably more damage than they used to be between the second level of burning hit that we grabbed and the condition damage node that we grabbed. If for some reason you find yourself attacking too slowly after picking up some of those nodes, you can always disable nodes temporarily by right-clicking on them on the passive tree. That turns them blue, and the effect is disabled. You can also re-enable them at any point just by hitting right-click again. We're going to grab Fragmentation, and then we're going to grab Scattering Sweep. Now our attack speed has dropped back down to 1 per second, so we're going to want to start getting that back up. We're going to aim for this increased shot angle. We'll re-roll that next time we get a re-roll point, and then grab some of these increased attack speed nodes. In the meantime, though, I think what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and grab this other increased movement speed, just because that will help us with dodging some of these large effects that some of these unicorn snails can pump out, especially until we get our damage up and really get this build going. We are starting to get some really great explosion size. I would love it if we could pick up 1 or 2 more AoE nodes, because I feel like we could really have some fun with some massive area of effect abilities if we can push in that direction. All right, let's see if we can re-roll this increased shot angle into anything useful. Perfect. Increase attack speed. We'll grab that increased attack speed. That's going to really help us out. We probably need to try to clear our path to that increased melee damage node that's on the board, because we are starting to get to the progression in the map where one swipe of our sword is just not quite cutting it. So we'll grab this increased attack speed here, and then we're going to see if we can re-roll increased projectile range. Perfect. Increase attack speed. So next level, we'll go ahead and grab this increased melee damage and this increased attack speed, and then we'll start pathing towards this other increased melee damage. If you have any interest in picking up this game, I would suggest that you go ahead and grab it pretty soon. The current version of Striving for Light Survival is 0.9.9.0, which means that it is very, very, very close to an official release. And I believe that the developers have the intention of increasing the price a little bit whenever that happens. Currently it is available, I believe, for $2.99 on Steam. It might be $4.99, I'm not sure. That's in US dollars. Either way, I do believe there are plans to do a price hike sometime soon once that official release comes out. Alright, that additional melee damage that we grabbed is really helping this build move along. And once we grab that second one, I think we're going to be really, really shining. Perfect. Okay, so we'll grab that. We're going to go and grab this increased attack speed here. We'll grab this other increased attack speed, and then we might start working our way down towards Flood and Bursting Wield again. Bursting Wield is great to pick up because it does not impact your attack speed, and each copy of the node that you pick up increases the damage that those explosions deal. Ouch. Izimuth is a sort of a mini boss that pops up in the middle of the Frozen Lands map. He's a little tricky because it is the first map in the game that actually has a mini boss like that. Most of them do not have one that has the actual boss health bar and things like that. Oh, I don't think we grabbed that heart before our time ran out. All right, let's go ahead and start seeing if we can reroll a couple of these max health nodes. Nothing super good. I think we're gonna go ahead and... Oh, wait, I see. We actually unlocked a connection, so we can grab increased melee damage, increase attack speed, and we can increase or grab flood all in the same go. Okay, and this is perfect because we've got bursting wield, double hit, and increased attack speed all in the same little area here. Double hit is usually an ability that I don't sink more than 1 point into, although I did do a warm-up run before this video, and pretty much double hit was the only thing that popped up on my passive tree. So I grabbed a ton of copies of double hit, and the damage turned out to be really respectable, although because double hit does impact your attack speed, my attacks got very, very slow, and I was struggling to get the attack speed that I needed for that build. Okay, we did not pick up very many points that turn, so we're just going to grab that increased attack speed. We're going into wave. We're on wave 12 now. We should be moving along at a pretty good pace. After this, we may try to do a build with Darkin. He's a new character that we've unlocked. His movement speed is pretty slow, and his attack speed's very slow, but he has a lot of area of effect abilities. He starts off with the glaring light ability, which means that whenever he attacks, there is a field of light that just damages every enemy it touches. And it scales very well with area of effect abilities. I've struggled a little bit with the few runs that I've done with Darkin to actually progress, so we may play around with him a bit, see if we can work out a viable build. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe. It's been a pretty great couple of days for this new YouTube channel that I've got going. We picked up our first couple of subscribers, so thank you to you guys, and be sure to share this channel with other people that you think might be interested in it. I'm also hoping to get some Minecraft videos coming up pretty soon. I'm going to be starting a Let's Play for Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode, which is one of my favorite expert mod packs. It is an older mod pack for an older version of Minecraft, but it's still a lot of fun. There are a ton of increased attack speed nodes down this way, and I'd really like to start picking them up, so I think we're going to start pathing in that direction. See if we can re-roll these into anything useful. All we got was health. We will go ahead and grab that, and we'll grab an additional stack of scattering hit. Our attack speed's sitting at 2 per second, so we're pretty respectable right there. That's going to jump up really fast once we start picking up these other increased attack speed nodes here. Sometimes in this game, you find that a level doesn't really give you anything useful for your build, but it opens up the door to a lot of upgrades coming up in the next couple of levels. Perfect. All right, so let's just start grabbing a whole bunch of these. We're going to grab these two, and then we'll probably grab the others coming up soon. I wanted to see if there were any other area of effect nodes on the board, but it doesn't look like there are. So we're just going to keep stacking attack speed at this point. We're heading into wave 15, so we are almost to the end here. This little mini boss right here is a little bit tricky because he spews out a ton of projectiles, and dodging is a big priority. He's a little bit easier to face with a ranged build because you can keep your distance. It's very easy with a melee build to get too close to him, and then all of a sudden you've gotten hit by several of those projectiles that he spews out. All right, there we go. All things considered, this build is going really well. I'm really pleased with the way this is turning out right now. I wish we could get maybe one more melee damage node before we end up facing the final boss. If we're lucky, we'll be able to pick that up. Perfect. You know, I might play around with the dagger weapon, which has some critical strike abilities already built in, and then build sort of a crit-based build, because I haven't really tried that yet. Let's see. There is another melee damage node there. I think we're gonna aim in that direction. I really would like to get that additional melee damage before we get there. Those rerolls are not working in our favor though, so we may not be able to get what I want out of it. Tell you what, we're just gonna grab this double hit here instead. With the amount of attack speed that we've got, double hit isn't really hurting us too bad, and it is dealing very respectable damage. Alright, perfect. We killed that guy before he was able to extend his arms and attack. When he does extend his arms, the area of effect of his spinning arms is very, very big, and it can be a little difficult to dodge sometimes. Perfect. Okay, let's grab, see if we can reroll these any. Okay, we'll go ahead and grab that critical hit. It's not going to really help us out a whole lot, but I think it's still worth it. Projectile damage is a useless one for us right now, but we're going to go ahead and take it just so that we can get down here towards this increased melee damage node before we get to wave 20. Although with the number of scattering projectiles that we have from our melee attacks, you know, the additional projectile damage isn't a major component of what we're dealing, but it does help. It helps kind of chew down the enemies a little bit before we get close to them. There we go. Oh, I boosted in the wrong direction. You do have to be a little bit careful once you've picked up a couple of movement speed nodes. Your boosting distance scales with your movement speed. So the more movement speed nodes that you've picked up, the faster you move in that direction. Okay, we picked up another flood node and another scattering hit. So next level we should be able to grab that melee damage node, and that's going to really bring this build to a close. At that point, we'll just be kind of picking up random things until we get to the boss. Grab a couple of screenshots for my Steam page. Whoa. I'm curious to see if the arrow traps continue to fire out 3 arrows throughout the higher tiers of this map, or if they just increase in number. Okay, we need to grab a little bit of health because we did take some damage that last round. There we go. Perfect. That additional melee damage node that we got, we are just about... Whoa, there we go. If you do end up having to deal with that guy's hands, it's actually easier, I think, to stay close to him. There's a sweet spot within his arm's reach where the hands can't damage you. There we go. Bursting Wield is doing a lot of work for us right now. Those big projectile, or the big explosions that are popping off every time we swing our sword, is just perfect. Okay. That is the end of Wave 19. Alright, so next round we fight the boss. We've only got 2 points to work with. Let's go ahead and grab both of these double hit nodes right here. That's going to really increase our damage. And we are facing off against Iron Frost. He has a lot of projectiles and they move in kind of a weird pattern. He also has this expanding Frost Nova attack, which can be a little bit tricky if you're too close to him whenever it pops off. There we go. If the mobs start stacking up a little bit too much, just give them a couple good hits with your sword and you can use those explosions to clear out the pack. Alright, Iron Frost is down. So now we just have to survive the rest of the map. Definitely going to try Darrikin for our next attempt, so be sure to tune in for the next episode of Striving for Light Survival. We're going to see if we can build a solid condition build focused on area of effect. So we'll be picking up nodes like poison, fire, and some bleed effects so that we can just stack a whole bunch of conditions on our enemies and let damage over time chew them down. Alright, so we unlocked Helasia by defeating the boss on Wave 20 of the Frozen Lands on Tier 2. My name is Wobblerocket. Thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in for our next episode of Striving for Light Survival. I'll catch you around.